All right, can we give it up for Catherine? Thank you. All right, hello, I'm Jack. Some of you may know me. Hi, Miss Lori. I am a high schooler here. I'm part of the student leadership team. And I've been coming since 6th grade. So you guys, I was just like you in 6th grade. While I've been here, I've met some pretty amazing people. One of them being Joel Stafford. Woo! Joel Stafford. One thing that Joel has taught me out of my whole experience here has been his favorite verse, which I could not tell you the reference for the life of me, but it is, bad company corrupts good character. And I don't know why I thought about that when I was writing this, but I just really love learning people's favorite verses. And it's just can change how you see different Bible stories and improve your understanding of them. Over this weekend, I went on the spring retreat, high school spring retreat. It was like the winter retreat. And it was really good. I actually have a new favorite verse because of it, which is Matthew chapter 14:31, which is immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. In this passage, in this verse, him is Peter. And he says, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" So if you don't know exactly what's happening in this verse, the disciples were on this boat, and it was the middle of the night. It's stormy, and it's rainy, it's windy, and like they're alone, and they think they're gonna die. It's scary, right? And Jesus had sent them, and Jesus wasn't there. And out of nowhere, they just see Jesus, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what's that?" Like they don't think it's Jesus right away. And then Jesus is like, "Hey, yo, guys, it's chill, it's me." And they're like, "How are you on the water?" And Peter just like is like, "Yo, Jesus, if you call me, I can come out there too. I can walk with you." And Jesus is like, "Come here." They're like, "Yeah, do it." And so Peter, the boat's like rocking. It's going crazy, right? And Peter he's just like, "All right, hold up." He gets out of the boat and he steps on the water. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. He stepped on the water. That's crazy. And I always imagine like he's walking on a tightrope. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm still walking on this water." He's just focused on Jesus. And he gets to Jesus, and he just like, for a second, he's just like, "Whoa, it's really windy. What if I fall?" And then he falls. He starts sinking. He's like, "Jesus, save me." And Jesus says, he immediately grabs him and says, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" Which is crazy. In the most like spectacular moment of Peter's life, he's on the water and he's standing next to Jesus. And he's like, "What if I fall?" And then Jesus says he has little faith. I mean, to me, I don't know about you guys, but to me that doesn't seem like little faith. It seems like Peter is super faithful in that moment because he walked on water to Jesus. That's crazy. So I just wanted to make sure that you all understand that you're not alone in your doubts. Everyone doubts. Even Peter in that moment doubted. Okay, so switch gears from that. I wanted to tell you a story about my life and a doubt and a time of my life that I doubted. So about a year and a half ago, I met another amazing person who went to this church, Will Enton. Will always had a smile on his face. He was always positive. I never heard a negative word come out of his mouth. And Will would just fill a room, and everyone in the room would just be better because of him. And it was a little crazy to me because Will actually had cancer. And when I met him, he had been fighting it for about 4 to 5 years. And he was in and out of high school his whole high school career. And I was actually lucky enough to go to high school with him, which was really cool because I would see him in the halls and in the gyms, and whenever you see me, he would just be so excited to see me, and we just have a great little conversation. It was always the highlight of my day to see him. But last year on Friday of the winter retreat, so literally almost exactly a year ago, I got a text from a group chat around 7 a.m. that said Will had lost his fight. And I was just like, "Oh, the guy who told me that has false information. He doesn't know what he's talking about." And I was like, "Oh, maybe it's a different Will." I was just complete denial. There's no way. Around an hour later, in first block, school announcement goes off confirming what I had been denying. And that's when it really set in. I was like, That was by far the hardest day of school I've ever had. I just kept thinking, why God? How could an all-loving, all-powerful God let someone like Will go? God, why are you abandoning us? Why would a loving God do this? I was doubting. It would take a while to list every question I had that day, but it was rough. But my story has a lot of similarities to the disciple Thomas. Thomas had just lost a friend, Jesus. Jesus wasn't just a friend, he was the ultimate friend. He was the perfect friend. And Thomas watched Jesus die. He watched Jesus be crucified. And the Romans would do this thing where when they would crucify someone and they would take them down, they would actually stab their side right around here. Because if water and blood came out separately, that means that the person was actually dead. So they were making sure Jesus was dead when they stabbed him. In John 14:34, one of the soldiers pierced Jesus' side with a spear, bringing out a sudden flow of blood and water. And then, so Jesus is dead. And after that, they put him in a tomb with a practically unmovable stone. Like, no human could move that stone alone. And Thomas knows this. He's not an idiot. He knows this. And so when his friends come up to him, 3 days after that, his friends come up to him like, dude, I've seen Jesus. I've seen Jesus. He's alive. He's risen. Thomas is like, guys, come on. Like, he's either thinking, these guys are crazy. These guys saw someone who looks like Jesus, but they're just wrong. It's not Jesus. Or they're just trying to pull some cruel joke on me. So it's just completely outside of logic for Jesus to be alive in this moment. And Thomas is just simply, it's impossible in his mind. So Thomas tells these guys, he's like, look, unless I see the nails the nail marks in his finger, in his hands, and I feel the piercing in his side, I will not believe. So it's like in that moment he's doubting because he's just like, there's no way. And it's okay to doubt. It's human nature to rely on logic and what we perceive as possible or reasonable. It's just what we do. Like, I doubted God's goodness because I thought it was, there's no reason to take Will. In my mind, there was no reason to take Will so early. But looking back, Will was in pain, and he wasn't getting much better from his condition. And that weekend, there was people who loved Will most were all gathering, and they were able to comfort each other. So God had a plan. Thomas doubted God's power because he was told a story outside of his understanding, and he just doubted. There's no way. But luckily for Thomas, he saw Jesus. He saw Jesus, and he saw his marks, and he felt his side. It says in John chapter 14:29, Jesus tells Thomas, because you have seen me, you believe. Blessed are those who have not seen but believe. So we all, like Catherine said, we all probably won't see Jesus. Probably. So we're blessed for that, and that's crazy. That's cool. But yeah. So I'm just going to ask you guys this question. Don't raise your hand. You don't have to answer it out loud. Just think about it. It's really simple. Just, do you believe? All right, thank you. I'm going to pray, and the band and Liza are going to come up. All right. Dear Lord, I thank you for these amazing people in this room. I thank you for this opportunity to share and just pour out your word to these people. I pray that this next following activity goes well, as well as family groups, and that we just have a smooth rest of tonight. Amen.